Two basic ones for you to start. Are you the head coach
I'm the special teams coordinator
today?
with a lot of work to do, Dan.
Are you overseeing the team from the head coaching role right now?
I'm facilitating practice just like what we did in the springtime and executing that and just making sure things run smoothly.
If you have to stay with that heightened role through Sunday, what changes for you?
Well, I haven't given that a lot of thought. I'll be honest with you. We're trying to, from last game period, we got a lot of issues that we got to clean up in our own area. I understand the question. If that comes up, we have a plan and that'll be executed. But right now, focus, to be honest with you, I know it's a cheap answer for you. I'm just worried about today's practice and getting better.
Are you at least privy to where Matt is?
I don't even understand that question, to be honest with you, and why that's even a story. So we'll move on to the next one.
Next question, Pat Finley.
Chris, obviously, you guys were going to have us up today, and there was a last-minute change. Can you tell me, do you have players or coaches that were put on the COVID list today?
There was a positive, and we're just following protocol and just executing that.
With a player or with a coach?
I can't comment on any of that.
Next question, Hub.
Hey, Chris, I know that none of this is anybody's fault. You guys are dealing with COVID, but in addition to players going on and off the list and people being available, all the time changes, all the moving around, all the going back and forth, it's got to be more difficult keeping everybody focused, isn't it?
I don't think so. I understand your question, Hub, and that's a good question. But I think this, to be honest with you, and I know I talk about it all the time in the special teams room, there's a distinct process that you have to go through. And, has our day changed today a little bit? Yes, but that's really no big deal. We just went from walkthrough going right into practice instead of having a little break in there. Everybody that shows up in the building should be ready for an honest day's work and should be prepared. So I think that the focus will be perfectly fine. And I think it sharpens you a little bit. I don't look at it as a negative. I actually look at it as a positive.
So just so I'm clear, because it's a little trickier for us than it is for you guys, the players' routine is they have a time to be here in the morning and a time when they're basically going to leave at the end of the day. And that's always set. So what happens inside those hours, you're saying, isn't that big a deal?
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, we've had our meetings. We're going to have our walkthrough just like what we always did, and we're going to have our practice just like what we always do. So with regards to getting the meat and potatoes done, that hasn't changed. So everything to me is normal.
Next question, Brad Biggs.
Hey, Chris, I'm curious, with the added responsibility you've got with Matt out here, how have you, and your assistant had to juggle a little bit what you guys are doing in terms of being completely prepped from a special team standpoint, but also dealing with at least a little bit more responsibility? Well,
I'll be honest with you. The week hasn't been any different for me from the stand. I talk to Coach all the time, every day. He's in all the meetings. I just don't see him physically. With regards to how we're prepping for special teams, I've stayed in my same routine, same process. If something else comes across my desk that I need to execute for Coach, then I will do that. And that's to me, to be honest with you, that's a pretty easy thing to do. So just trying to stay true. So I always say we're not going to win the game today, but you sure can lose it. And we want to make sure that we have a good day of practice to set us up for Sunday.
Next question, Jason Leisure.
Chris, how do you prepare for some things that you wouldn't normally be doing, like running a team meeting Saturday night, potentially timeouts, fourth down calls, things like that on Sunday?
Well, I don't, if that comes to fruition, I'll be honest with you. I run a team meeting every day, and I know in the special teams world, it is a team meeting. So I deal with every player on this football team, from the quarterbacks to the defensive linemen to the offensive linemen. I meet with them every day. So to me, that's no different. Meeting and leading guys, that's not a big deal. With regards to that other stuff, if that ever came up, you've always been preparing yourself your whole life to do that. So I've watched a lot of football games and have thought about those type of things. So if it ever did come up, put yourself in good position to help the team.
How aggressive are you as far as like mindset on fourth down? I mean, if you get the chance to be the guy that pushes the button for that, how eager are you to do that?
Well, Jason, I guess I guess if I gave you my whole how I really feel about everything, I guess it wouldn't be much of a surprise for you. So I guess we'll just have to pull off on that one.
Next question, Dan Weeder.
Chris, two quick ones. Why the level of
Oh,
secrecy?
hold on, Dan. You're coming back with two. We were getting you two questions.
Yeah, one's a quick one. One's a
Okay.
quick
Well,
one.
one's a quick one. So that does. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, why the level of secrecy on updating why the everything changed today? What?
I don't think there's a level of secrecy on that at all. I mean, things happen on a daily basis. I mean,
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out who tested positive, and usually Matt in this role would come up and alert us of that.
well, I'm not going to do that. So you'd have to talk to coach on that. I don't talk about injuries, and I don't talk about personal things with regards to health. So I'm going to stick true to that.
My other question was just the first punt, obviously on Sunday, was a rough start for you guys. What was your diagnosis there?
I thought it was a really bad play by us, and obviously we got to do a better job in the coverage and getting down there and making tackles. And that's been a point of emphasis, and we didn't come through there, so that we got a bad taste in our mouth. And looking forward to Sunday to see if we get that fixed, because we're going to play another good unit, and they're well coached, and we got to show improvement. So we got enough on our plate right there they got our attention.
Next question, Sean Hammond.
Chris, we're talking about, you potentially being acting head coach. Take us back to your Culver Stockton days, way back in the day. What do you remember about your head coaching stint there?
Well, that was a long time ago. I appreciate you asking. It was a winning season. I just got done. We got let go at the University of Missouri as a staff, and went to go be a small college head coach. And I worked for a great head coach at the University of Missouri by the name of Larry Smith, a legend. And he told me, go be a head coach. You'll learn things I can't ever teach you. And he was exactly right. From learning how to line the field, to ordering the equipment, to leading a team and handling different situations. It was a great experience. So I got a little taste of that. And if something ever happens down the road, you always feel like you've been prepared by what's happened in the past.
Next question, Pat Finley.
The natural follow-up, of course, is how do you line a field?
Well, Pat, I can see that you're in your office there, so I can see where you might ask that question, lining a field. I mean, you're gonna get the string out, and you're gonna get the paint, and you're gonna set it there, Pat, and then you line it.
Next question, Zach Fearson.
Hey, Chris, with the weather starting to change here, it's unpredictable. How comfortable are you this year with Cairo going into the season compared to maybe last year, the year before, with how he can handle the winds in cold weather?
I'm real comfortable with him. I think that he's been striking the ball real well. Each and every day is different. Awful windy here yesterday. There's going to be some wind again on Sunday. But he's a guy that works hard at his craft, and I got a lot of confidence in his process and how he handles his business, along with Scales and Pat O'Donnell. Just those three guys working together. This is kind of where this time of year where that stuff gets magnified, and you need those guys to come through, and I think they will.